So what's up, everyone? We're here at SVG. I'm here with Pate and Tristan, Premier Claims, and we're getting out some content today. Really excited to be at WTS 19, right?
Oh yeah,
Extremely excited. It's a great conference.
my favorite event of the year.
Yeah, for sure. We're trying to get this in as people kind of come in for the event, flights landing, people checking in, getting all excited, having a couple cocktails and getting warmed up. So
That's exactly
really
right.
excited that we got to spend some time here to put something together here.
Oh,
for
if you're in the storm restoration business, this is the conference to be at, hands down, no doubt about it. You know, the networking that goes on, the industry support. You know, there's no enemies. I think it's pretty special.
I will say that if you're going to come to an event, this is the one. A, because it's the most fun. B, because it's the best content. So, I mean, like if you were going to look at tomorrow, Steve Selleck and I are speaking at the same time.
That's what they are.
I mean, our Tristan on his 7-figure signatures going then Steve Selleck. Then at the next breakout session, I mean, it's just hammered. Then straight into 9 o'clock, you got Earl Thomas. I mean,
It's true. I mean, every facet of business, you know, whether you're trying to scale your business, whether you're trying to market your business, you know, whether you're trying to grow your sales or, you know, improve your inside team or whatever facet of it is, you know, you need more crews out there. This is the place to come. This is the place to find those solutions.
there's a lot of people that don't even understand that. They think this is just a sales conference, but I'll tell you, or a growth conference as far as gaining more sales. But I mean, you got like consulting companies here now that just provide crews because companies scale up so quickly.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's kind of your game too, as far as providing like content so companies can scale and be top in their market.
Yeah, absolutely. We have clients that come in just to kind of network, and now that businesses are like national, people have different locations, the networking is so key. So
it really is, and I think that one of the things that you know, the takeaway and the feedback you get from a lot of companies that come is most companies come with a goal in mind, right? But then they leave and they end up finding a solution or a partner for something that they weren't even looking for.
Yeah.
But you know, just because of the nature and the atmosphere and the culture here, you can't help but meet a lot of people and discover ways that you can really optimize and grow your business and transition into an even more refined company. One
of the best examples is we didn't use Trace until last year's SVG.
Oh yeah.
I think, like right after. So we met them. We had tried a lot of health softwares. I mean, like pretty much every health software, and didn't really love it compared to data that we could gather on our own, because we felt that we could get a more refined answer for what we were looking for. And if you're all over the country and you use a health software that doesn't give you the information as you want it, the issue is like A, you're either missing potential claims, or B, you're sending people out to talk to people across the country, flights, expenses, etc., and you're having a lot of expenses and there's no damage there.
Right.
And you know, we met them and they're one of our largest people we refer people to. We use them every single day.
Oh man, that's a great example. Hill Trace, Derek Klein, I mean, brilliant group, you know. And my breakout session tomorrow, 7-figure signatures. That's like one of the first steps in the process for, you know, my secrets to getting those 7-figure signatures. So that's definitely a testament to Hill Trace, and it's something that transcended our business. And I can tell you, that's not why we came here. You know, it's something that we learned. Wow, this is something we should adopt to improve our company. And here we are, you know, a year later, and it's one of the first topics in mind.
And we constantly like adopt and or adapt, I should say, our process. You know, if it's our CRM, if it's how we contact clients, how we contact the carrier, building out our teams, refining individuals' processes. But, you know, Hail Trace is a great example because we're like, okay, this may be an option, right? And it's like events like this that spark that thought. And I think that's important because it's not about what you see here and what you buy here, really. And maybe it is, right? But really it's about what thoughts are sparking when you walk the floor, when you're going to breakout sessions. So that's what that's about.
We all we all operate our businesses and we're grind mode, 5, 6, 7 days a week, and it's easy just to get kind of myopic about things. And then you come here and talking about different ideas and seeing different things, and it's just to step away from the daily grind and to be here, it's awesome. So
really
hats off to Anthony and Autumn for putting this all together over the
whole
years.
Squad.
The whole squad, the whole SVG
a lot
crew.
of guys killing it out there.
Yeah, a lot of hardworking people. Not a lot of sleep. The amount of time they put in. 8 to 5 is obviously evident, but I think it's a testament to the work they put in outside of that.
Oh yeah,
constantly active. Socially and internally on continuing to prepare and get ready for not only this, but the SVGU training that they provide all year long.
Yeah, we've all been out there at SVGU offices, and it's just like it's nonstop. They got so much going on, and so yeah, they're working their asses off to bring us all together. It's really cool. So let's talk about our breakout sessions. I think we're each doing some speaking this week. What's going on, Tristan? You want to start? On your talk?
Yeah, I think for us it's really exciting because last year was our first year at this conference, and coming in, we knew that we were smart and that we had a lot of information to give, but there's a lot of people out here. How's that going to be received?
Right.
And Pate and I did a breakout session that he led called Innovative Sales Strategies, leaving door knocking behind, and it was an enormous hit. I mean, the room was completely slammed. People were standing on chairs.
In the back, people were standing on chairs. They were like spilled out in the hallway. It was
Damn.
It was about how, so I helped sell a 7-figure claim before I knew the difference between what a 3-tab and an architectural shingle was. I just like sat in, figured everything out. We knew who we needed to talk to, which kind of leads into Tristan's breakout session tomorrow, is figuring out who you even need to talk to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's definitely the number one mistake people make is really climbing the wrong ladder. And if you know the way to do it, you don't climb the ladder. You start at the top of the ladder and you work your way down.
As far as like points of contact,
absolutely,
for sure.
You don't always need to go knock on the front door, you know, because the person who answers the door is not the person you need to talk to.
Totally.
And they're also safeguarding, protecting the person who you do, you know.
Yep. They have the ability to say no, but not really yes.
Right.
You know?
So you end up wasting a lot of time and running in sand, and it's just not a very optimized way to approach it. And so. That's kind of one of the steps in the process of what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, how to get to the 7-figure signatures, because most roofing contractors, restoration contractors, they're residential contractors.
Right.
But everybody wants to know how to crack the commercial bubble, the corporate bubble.
Yeah.
How have we gotten into real estate firms and hotel groups and property
Investment
management
trusts.
groups?
Everybody thinks the investment trust game is like the end all be all. And honestly, maybe it is.
Well,
dropping bombs already.
It's more so like companies like Colliers International and CBRE.
Yeah.
Those are all REITs. They're all real estate investment trust companies.
They have REITs. They're actually. Colliers has REITs inside of it, right? I mean, that's not its main. But
they do a lot.
Right. It's huge. A portion of it's our portion of the business, and how to crack into that and. It takes experience, it takes some trial and error. That's stuff we've gone through, and you just kind of figure out how to maneuver, how to navigate. And so those are the big deals. Those are the deals that transcend companies and turn them from small money-making, high residential volume, but smaller profit to, really taking it to the next level, adding a lot of zeros and going to a large commercial company.
A great example is D&M Roofing in Omaha, who we both work with, right?
For sure.
So Eric and them were also one of my best friends, was almost exclusively not high exclusively, but they were high volume residential with some commercial.
Like most contractors.
Yeah.
For over 50 years. I mean, they've been a
and I mean, I think back in the day they did a lot of hot tar, and so they had into that. But then Omaha is heavy residential because you have large high dollar residentials, particularly in shake shingle.
And you can make a lot of money doing that.
You can,
and
but
they were.
Yeah, and then the policy switched. We're not going to go into that because that would be like a diatribe that Tristan and I would go down, which would be like an hour.
I'll go to the bar and get some
us
drinks,
like complaining about like policy issues. But that being said, now he's doing our no cost risk management program.
Right, I was talking to him about that yesterday or 2 days ago actually.
I mean, I feel like we're in the same city, and we're going to be doing that with some Texas contractors too, is implementing that. And that was from that not 7-figure signatures, innovative sales strategies breakout session. And I think that, also our buddy Zach out of Alabama, we kind of let him in on this world of leaving door knocking behind. They no longer do any residential.
Really?
None.
It was a
Zach
complete
Blankenship?
Yeah.
Wow.
Complete
Good
180.
dude.
Complete 180. Where that's just what they were doing. He's like, oh, we've done a commercial job here and there, but we know that's not where the big money's at. We know that you can actually make more and do less if you sort of channel your efforts and know what you're doing. So he's like, I'd rather do less jobs and make more money, higher volume from a sales standpoint than doing a high volume number of jobs.
Right.
And, it's just a lot of headaches and you're fighting and chasing checks and things like that.
Yeah.
So,
and it's hard. I'll tell you, that switch is hard.
Well, it's
because it's leaving the comfort zone, right?
It's a big leap of faith.
It's easy to knock on a house, a residential house, obviously, and sell them a roof. But the whole commercial thing is a longer-term process, right?
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's like it feels, especially as a business owner, it's a big leap of faith, and it sticks out to me, that phrase with him, because he said, "I'm not making a leap of faith. I know what I'm doing."
Yeah.
And so it was more just like, hey, telling his team, hey guys, we're changing the program. We're changing the script. Here's what we're doing now, and he had complete confidence in it. And it's the system we implemented with him, And now that guy's, he's all over the place in the Southeast, from North Carolina to Alabama and down in Florida, and those are states everywhere in between, other than Alabama. He was never working in a year ago.
And if you're that business owner, that being said, maybe, that's an uncomfortable move, because some of your guys that you have are so ingrained in door knocking sale, and because it's not necessarily about the money, maybe. And I bet you have guys out there that knock. I know because we have their clients, but they'll knock $2 to $4 million a year. But the difference is like when you get them in where they're playing that game of leaving door knocking behind, and they're building, the portfolio that you can quickly build when you get the commercial leads, because what happens is it starts to snowball.
Yeah.
I mean,
big time. I mean, you just said there's guys that'll go door knock residential at $2 to $4 million a year, which is like, wow, they're putting in a ton of work.
7-day weeks, man.
That's extremely impressive. That's a lot of contracts. Well, for us, I mean,
there's a guy here that I don't feel comfortable saying his name because we have an NDA, and I don't know where that would go, but he does that almost a month with Asian American hotels, AHOA. So we're in that world, and he is too. And he was like, I don't really want to sell any more residentials. I'll do it for my guys' cash flow, but in my world, it doesn't kind of move the needle at all.
Right.
And I think that's a consideration of when you pull that trigger. It's never going to be an easy time.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of like the stair-step approach of starting a business, right? You start out, you do what's kind of right in front of you, what's easy, what's comfortable, knocking on doors, and then you take that leap of faith to get to the next level. But I think that guys, owners that I talk to, they burn out, their teams burn out from knocking and working 7 days a week and chasing checks and all this sort of thing. I mean, I was just talking to a roofer this morning on the airport shuttle in North Carolina. He's like, yeah, we had all these insurance checks from Hurricane Florence and all this, that, and the other thing. And homeowners were calling me, telling me not to cash the checks because they spent the money on Christmas and this, that, and the other thing. So, you quickly burn out from those sort of things. And when you're going B2B, that can be much more lucrative, obviously.
It's a better client.
Yeah. Especially the, business owner who's fronting a lot of cost to be out there, to put a team on the road, to go out there and do that. They're doing a lot of mitigation and things like that, and it's on the front end thinking we're going to get the carrier to pay out. Well, then all of a sudden the check goes to the homeowner or business owner, and now all of a sudden they don't have the money, man. Now you're trying to lien a property, and who knows what you have to do from there. But yeah, you're right. And, we're talking about guys who door knock and hit $2 to $4 million a year. Wow, I mean, they're doing these a lot of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 roofs. Well, I can think of one contractor, specifically one salesman, who decided, I'm going to try to go commercial, and sold a $2.5 million storage facility the first week. And he's
way.
Oh my God.
His eyes were opened up,
he's like, I will never door knock another residential.
Wow.
And it's not to knock any residential guys, because there's a lot of companies just churn through it. It's, it's mailbox money, and you have your bread and butter, but you also just be open to it and know that it's not that much different.
The reason that, so this may be like a semi, not confrontational, a semi difficult statement or semi-difficult thing to hear if you are heavy into the residential, and obviously those claims need to be done. But the reason you are hardcore into it and the reason that's your comfort zone is because you've allowed that to be, because you only think that that's what you're worth.
That's fantastic
because
point.
You don't think that you have the wherewithal to sell that commercial client, and honestly that's a limiting thought that you're putting on you, not an actual like real thing. There's no reason that exists. You chose that.
And going back to SVG and the Win the Storm conference, I mean, those are some of the benefits that you get out of it, like getting rid of those limiting beliefs and really believing that you can do so much more. Because there's companies in here that are doing 7-8 figures, like, 9-figure companies, like doing huge things. You realize that you can do that as well.
You're absolutely right, and I mean that kind of goes back to my 7-figure signatures breakout session tomorrow. It's kind of first identifying, well, how do you find the damage? Now, how do you decide who to go after? Now, once you decide that's who you want to go after, what's the most efficient way to do it to get to the decision maker?
Right.
Because sometimes the person who if you went through the front door, who answers, they don't even own the property. They're not even on the policy. There's a property management company in there, or there's a tenant, you know, and you're spinning your wheels in there, and there's better ways to do it where you don't even get out of the car. You don't even leave your home or your office until you find out who you need to talk to, and you go from there. And then that kind of leads into some later points in that presentation, which will be, now that you know that, now how do you approach it? Now you're getting to know, like, what's some of the strategy going into, well, what if there's a triple net lease? Well, now, okay, the tenant does carry the commercial policy, but the property owner is listed on the policy. Who do you go to? How do you approach that? And it kind of goes from there.
And I will say, if the only person I get to is that property manager or apartment complex like manager, I don't say, hey, can you give my card to this person? I will look them dead in the face and I will be like, I will completely restore this property with my team. So here's the deal. If you do not get your owner to contact me, you're making a massive mistake. I will completely do this. My team will do it. So my question is, do you think you would get a bonus if I put $6 million in restoration in this building? If the answer is yes, you need to do that, and I need to talk to them now. Because if you play the game that contractors play of, oh man, I'd love to talk to your owner. What's their name? Okay, you won't give it to you, but we'll give them a card. Thank you so much. Guess what? You're never getting that. It's going to sit on their desk, and then Sheila's going to have a leak upstairs, and she's going to be angry, and then Steve's going to be mad because his neighbor stayed up like hooking up with a chick all night, couldn't sleep. And so that's what she deals with, right? And you got to skip that person. So that's a strategy that if I only have that bottom person, that's who I deal with, and that's how I go at it. Very frank, and you're making a massive mistake to the point that I'll probably get you some sort of raise or accolade if you pass me on.
That takes a lot of confidence and conviction in what you're doing to be able to say that face to face to someone.
It is. It's somewhat of a, you have to remind them what their job is, and again, like, part of what our job doing that breakout session is to help instill some confidence, knowledge into contractors who want more commercial business. So that's why we get into that. But you go to an apartment complex and you do talk to the property manager.
Yep.
That property manager, their thought and responsibility and their focus is on filling units, leases, and then managing landscaping and maintenance and leaks and little stuff like that.
Right.
So they think, they don't really care. They don't own the property. You have to sometimes remind them that you're the property manager here. Your job is to protect the asset here.
Right.
You can be the hero, but this is something that you guys need to do. So let's all team up. Let's talk to the owner. The three of us meet, whatever. But if not, you're making a major mistake and you're letting this asset slip away.
Wow. They don't even believe that they have no concept of like what $2 million in restoration funds mean.
Right.
Like, you have to talk to them like, let me like make you understand what's going to happen here. Otherwise, you're just like, it's magic money that they think is false.
Right. You sound like a snake oil salesman.
Right.
They're judged on a nominal figure of how many units are leased. You know, why aren't people renting? Why aren't more people coming? If someone moves out, why doesn't someone immediately move in?
What's the occupancy rate?
They're not judged or bonused or whatever the structure is on how much restoration money did you get for me through an insurance claim.
Right.
So they don't think like, okay, this is going to be a big headache for me, and they don't necessarily realize, you know, the value that they are bringing to the owner.
Right.
If you're the one who led the way to get this work done, and look, I just got us a couple $1,000,000 and brand new roof and siding and painting and all that stuff, what that means for them. And so you just have to kind of educate them and remind them.
Yeah. And that's a process, right? It's not about buying commercial leads and hoping that one of them pans out, right? It's relationship building.
Yeah.
That's kind of my world. I mean, I feel like, I won't say I'm the king of relationship building, but I mean, like, I believe in people and like I love people, and I think that's important. I think in leaving door knocking behind, that's what one thing I teach is I'm heavy on networking groups.
Yeah,
big time. When I was growing my previous company, I made so the funny part is you're gonna love this, is I can remember when I had a website and I was like, I got a website, let's go, money.
Right.
And like, it's gonna come in, right? And
keep hitting refresh.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'd go out into the world, and I always like to say, like, leave the cave every morning, go kill something, drag it back, right? And so at that point in my life, I made a pact with myself that every day during the week I would go to at least one networking group. And then I joined Omaha's like top networking group, and you had to be validated and elected in.
Okay.
So it's only one person per industry. I got elected in, and then in about 16 months, I became the top person in referrals in like the entire Midwest in that group.
Well, and that's a national group. Now that's led us into that group on a national level, because now he did that in the local chapter, and now here we are. You know,
if I'm in a city, I'll get on their website.
Now we're the prominent guys.
Yeah.
Amongst several chapters. You know.
So if I'm in Dallas, I'll see who's having a meeting in Dallas, and I'll pop in there.
If I'm in Florida,
send some messages. Boom, boom, boom. I've got so and so there this week, right? And the thing is like, you have that credibility and that name recognition, but people don't play that.
Why not?
Think about Catalyst Group. I mean, you not only were like, hey, I want to join, you were like recruited in, and we want you on the board. And it's because of the track record of what you've done in other networking groups and what you bring in value to the industry.
Probably, right? Also, we're a good PA firm, so that helps.
Well, you got to have that. You got to have the work to stand behind it.
You're an attorney, so that doesn't hurt.
Because in this industry, if you're a blowhard and you're just talking big game and you can't back it up, then obviously you're going to be called out. Social media, or, you know, we've seen that. So
I mean, in this industry, you're always going to have people that are going to be upset with you.
Yeah.
But like, my thing is, at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like I die for like our clients. I mean,
I totally
6
agree.
a.m.
Right,
to
intent.
like 10 p.m.
Right.
I mean, she gets mad at me. Eric Hunter just ran by, but like, I talk to Eric almost every day of my life about something, right? In calls, definitely in text. Because they're one of our contractors. But that being said, there's also contractors that do less than $2 million a year with us, or less than $500,000 with us, and I answer those texts and calls. You can ask him. I mean, my wife gets mad at me for it, because I literally have like 2 cell phones just popping off all the time because of that. And I think when you build those relationships, it's not just about like, hey, I did a good job for you. It's about, through that entire process of the person being your client, you have to like live inside their business whether you're there or not. If they have a problem, it's sometimes not even always about you.
Right.
It's about something else.
That. Yep.
But you know what?
Right.
I'm cool with being that punching bag too. So please, like, call me. Let's talk it out. What can we do?
I think like that's a great point, because, you know, both what you guys do and what I do in marketing, you know, everyone's kind of had a bad experience before. Not kind of. Everyone's had a shitty experience before.
And it won't be the last one, you know.
What's that?
And it won't be the last one.
Right.
You know,
and
sometimes you can.
People just want to know that they're taken care of. And I'm sure you guys feel it too. Like when we're, you know, talking to a new prospect who's going to consider being a client, you can hear it, like the, just like, man, like almost like, man, are you gonna take care of me? Like, are you gonna look after me? Or are you gonna screw me? Like that sort of thing. So that relationship building just goes
It's hard
so
in
far.
your business for sure, because I mean, like, I connect with your business from my previous business, like, pretty hard. And it's hard in your business because you have nothing tangible. Like, you cannot show them success. There's nothing that they can grab onto. There's no shingle. Right? Like we can go in there to Atlas right now, and you know what they have? They have a whole bunch of shingles, and you know what they can say? We have a 3/4 inch nail strip that's larger than any other.
Yep.
Right?
HP
and so
42.
Yeah.
There we go.
How did you know that?
How do I not know that?
You're a marketing guy.
It's Atlas. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
we do some work with
that
Atlas.
means they're doing some good marketing.
So we do some lunch and learns
they
for
are.
them,
They're nominated
but,
for that, actually.
Yeah.
So if on wind claims, that is actually a pretty helpful thing, because we see a lot of denials due to improper installation by crews, and that larger nailing strip does show up. This isn't like an Atlas.
Gives you a bigger margin of error.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well, Atlas actually they're nominated for an award here for best marketing, something.
Best marketing.
Best marketing, and then just a couple of days ago, I saw they won an award for best new product, and it was exactly that.
At the International Builder Show.
Yeah.
They're killing it down the street in Vegas. Yeah.
But there's nothing tangible in your business, and that's really hard, because like as a my previous business of being a consultant and a professional development coach, there was nothing that I could sell either. Like I could show you where I grew businesses, but also the question is, how do I know they just didn't grow?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
you. And what people have to understand is, like, I don't cut my own hair. Okay? At the end of the day, like, I'm to the point in my entire life where I just got my kitchen backsplash redone. I could have done it, but it was $300, and I would have screwed it up $300 worth for sure before I got it right.
Oh yeah.
Right. So my question is,
where can you get a backsplash for $300, man?
I mean,
sign me up.
Yeah, Eric, our boy at D&M Roofing knew a guy.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, talk to this guy.
Damn.
It was 200 in materials and 100 in labor.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Does he work in Atlanta?
Yeah, he's going to Jersey.
I just bought a house.
You could probably fly
I got
him
some
in
backsplash
cheaper
needs,
than,
you know.
And I thought I was gonna pay like $1,500.
Yeah, that's what I would.
But shout out to MK for negotiating that deal. But that being said, when you're not selling tangibility, and we can show people our client list,
right?
And I would say it's pretty impressive. There's maybe one firm in the entire country that has a better client list than we do, and they've been there 30 years. And I think back to Drake. And a couple of things that he said about people that have been there a time, we'll get there, but we're getting there quicker than anybody else, and it's because of our customer service and our relationships. And though there's nothing tangible about what probably either of us do, even though dollar figures I guess are semi more tangible, but you can look at leads.
We can quantify things to a certain extent.
It's hard though.
There is definitely a big
if you're
level
not
of trust.
in either one of our worlds,
right?
How do we know what a graphic means?
Right.
How do we know what those figures mean? Because they're not.
Right.
And so it's a difficult thing.
And that's why we're all here. I mean, the face-to-face. That's why we're producing a video podcast.
Creating those relationships.
Absolutely. We can't be a guy, sitting behind a laptop with a phone and no face.
Yeah,
there he is.
You're absolutely right, man.
You being influential?
Uh-oh. We got the second most influential guy.
Hey, go grab her. She needs something to do.
Oh, yeah? Her first?
What? No, her. I said MK. Sorry.
I mean, you can't just hide behind a laptop, and that's why conferences like this, content like this is so key. I think it ties into what we're all doing, and what we're all kind of preaching is to our clients and to our market is you've got to get out there and farm your market. You've got to be building relationships 12 months a year and not just trying to find a lead today because you need to make payroll today. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, I was talking with Kyle Maring, our CEO, and we were jumping on a Delta flight from Atlanta today, and I knew some of those people. I could just tell by the way we were dressed, some of them were coming out here for this event. And I'm like, all right, I got to find at least one client on this flight today. But it just goes back to, just the networking, the marketing, don't be afraid. If you walk by somebody and you recognize them from the industry, you better not walk by without saying hey. And if you go by and you can tell their industry, you better not walk by without saying hey.
Right.
It's just a mindset you have to ingrain in yourself and in your company.
Yeah. And what we were talking about before we hit record is what I talk about a lot, and I think you guys are kind of getting at, is the ability to take control of your business and take control of your biz dev,
said, yeah.
and not rely on, telemarketing leads, knocking, those things are fine. They can be part of your business. But if you really want to get to that next level, whether it's commercial or more residential, you've got to have that control. And that comes from, doing marketing. That comes from building relationships. It comes from putting out content consistently, right? We were just talking about, you mentioned that viral piece of content. You want to talk about that?
Yeah,
that's a great example.
Sam just walked by. Landon, who used to work at Crest last year, he makes videos like him on roofs, makes videos talking about doing roofing, and he's consistent with it. Every day he does something, or maybe he doesn't, but it's very often, right? And the thing is like, content is landmines put out to the world.
Yep.
And you never know when one's going to get stepped on and boom, everywhere.
Right.
And so, last week we were at IRE and I was talking about personal branding, growing that brand through digital marketing. I was not supposed to, but I just was in a mood and I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about public adjusting. Let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about growing your own brand.
Right.
And he was standing right there and he said he got more business because of that, because even other roofers who were no longer in that market sent him jobs that they had because they're like, oh, he's there.
Awesome.
Right? And the fact is, it's like, oh, him.
And they earn credibility for referring them to Landon.
Right.
Right. Right.
And it was just a piece of content out where he didn't use a ladder to get on a roof. He
used
his truck.
Just something different, right?
Right. And he got tons of calls, jobs, Facebook messages. I mean, probably made the guy, 50, 100 grand, maybe more.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, you have to be consistent with content. I'll say this for your clients. You can't judge marketing, particular digital marketing, off 1, 2, or 3 pieces. Mm-hmm. It does not matter. Like, you're building it up. Totally. What you're doing is it's over a year.
Yep.
It's over a year and a half. If you look at my Instagram's a great example. You look at my gram, you look at my Facebook, I put stuff on there every day. It's tactical almost. Yeah. Right? Like, I want people interacting with me because I know that means I'm first on their mind.
Totally.
And
top of mind.
I think Kanye West said it best. I don't remember when, but he was like, you make people pick, right? Everybody either loves him or they hate him.
Yep.
But you know what? You know something about him and you're going to think about him.
Yep.
It's just like real estate. You know what type of agent's the worst real estate agent?
No.
No, think about it.
I know this answer.
Oh, you've heard me say this. You can't answer.
The worst real estate agent?
Worst real estate agent. This is like my
favorite. The one
who's
just like, okay, I don't know.
A secret agent. Because nobody knows who they are. And
nice.
I live and die by that. And I think with our marketing, a lot of people feel like they don't like it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You can either like us or you can't, but you will know us.
Right.
Right? And you don't have to like us to get your claim covered.
No, and that's the thing. You back it up with your solid business and results that you get your clients.
Yeah, and I mean, our company DNA is one that I think is different than other public adjusting companies or firms
Massively.
out there. Is that we say, hey, we throw sugar, not salt, because there's a lot of public adjusting companies and a lot of attorneys and even some contractors are like, man, we're going to stick it to the insurance company,
Right.
These guys are screwing you. And we're like, that's not.
I don't like that rhetoric.
That's not what we're
agree.
about.
I agree.
We're professionals. They're professionals. We're here to work together.
Yeah.
We're not here to slam you guys and take you for everything you're worth and get every penny out of you.
Right.
Like, we're just here to do a good job, service our client. We're not asking for something to get covered that's not damaged or isn't, afforded through the policy. So, we're not here to make enemies. We know we're going to see this insurance company again because we've seen them before.
Right.
We know we're going to see that adjuster again. So we don't have any enemies in this industry, and insurance companies, I think, respect that a lot. So we're not the ones that are, in their face like, we're gonna report you.
I love that.
So that's interesting you say that because like how we package our words and how you package things in marketing are very similar. It's not. And I have contractors say this all the time to me about OMP. I've got 3 trades. It's complex. How did you package that information to give it to the adjuster so that he could properly consume it so then he could then give it to his boss for him to say, hey, I need to pay this out.
Yeah.
Right? And with you, how do you properly package information on your digital marketing, on you lead gen through emails as well?
Yep.
how do you do that to where people have buy-in, right? And it's all about buy-in, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Just because you present it doesn't mean you're going to get a yes.
Totally.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You got to package it up so it's legible and consumable by your market. On that note, you're talking about people just kind of putting out 1 or 2 pieces of content, and we see that all the time. You have the roofing company, any sort of company that pays a few grand to get this fancy kind of brand video made, and they put it on Facebook and it gets a few likes, and they put it on YouTube and it has like 100 views, and that's it. And like no one ever sees it, and they're like, oh, video sucks, it doesn't work. Facebook sucks, it doesn't work. Well, it's got to be a consistent play. Like, it's got to be part of what you do.
Right. I mean, we put out a piece almost every week.
Yeah, you guys do.
I mean, we basically have a full-time video staff. We do it full-time, ingrained as far. They land today. They'll be with us all weekend.
Yeah, it's huge.
They work with us and one other client. I mean, it's a huge. I think they also do some off stuff, but it's a commitment that you have to ask yourself. Are you willing to see yourself maybe be the best?
Yep.
Or do you just want to take that money and like buy a truck?
Yep.
And it's not always necessarily that the content that you're putting out is directly about an experience in the industry or a job that you had. We now have 50 experts in our office. Well, we've had to change offices and upgrade and grow our offices a few times over the past couple of years. We put out a video that just documented the move from this office to the next office, just to show the growth. So it's not like we talked about we won this big claim and now we're getting a new office or something like that. It's just like it's the growth and the inner workings and the DNA of the company that people like to know.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I see your employees packing boxes and assembling chairs and things like that, just to show that wow, these guys are continuing to grow, and obviously they're doing well. It's not just about you selling them on, well, we had this one job and this other job and this one client and that client,
Right.
And I think some of that outside the box marketing definitely goes a long way. Spotlights on, your employees, and
we do that at least every week.
Yeah,
because people, I mean, these days with the internet, like you can proclaim anything. You can act as if, But if you're documenting what you do, you can't hide that. You got real people packing boxes and moving office and whatnot.
Exactly. Come see us.
Yeah.
One of our
could use a helping hand.
I got a message because like one of our Facebook posts, it was like a post of like we call it our bullpen, but it's our desk adjuster room.
Okay.
And the war room.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that in your pictures.
And so I had a contractor, like he was like, dang man, he's like, y'all got more computer screens than most PAs have claims. And I was like,
yeah.
It's
Nice.
true.
Yeah, there's infrastructure
they're
there.
just hammering away, that's what they do. We knew that in order to scale our business on a national level, we were going to have to break this up into departments, because most PAs are a one-man show, or each adjuster is a one-man show. So, you hire a PA, he has to inspect it, he has to write a report, he has to write an estimate, he has to review the policy, he has to negotiate and communicate with the carrier, he has to collect the check, he has to disperse payment. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Well, what if the guy is an excellent field guy, but he's terrible at reviewing policy, or he's good at reviewing policy, but he's terrible at drafting emails and position letters,
Right.
So it's, for us, we broke that into departments. Like we have our sales guys, we have our estimating division, our field division, our in-house adjusters, our legal department, our administrative, our accounting. So those people are good at what they do, that they're just focused on that. That's what they want to do. That's their passion, If they're hammering away with 6 computer screens writing estimates because that's what they want to be doing, and you're bothering them by stopping by because that's what they love to do.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I don't adjust a claim ever. Hey, how's it going, man? Never do I adjust a claim. And
what's going on?
What's going on, brother?
Right?
This is Nick. Have y'all
Nick
met?
Forcell, Atlas Restoration. He's also got a breakout session going on tomorrow morning, Friday morning,
Friday or Saturday?
Saturday morning.
Hello.
Nick's big in Texas.
Huge.
Everything's big in Texas.
I may be your neighbor in like 3 months. I think I'm moving.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
That'd be great.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
We got lots of stuff going on. We'll be busy.
Good seeing you, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, because you haven't adjusted a claim.
Yeah, so I don't adjust claims. I literally go out and talk to people, introduce them to our team to get contracts signed.
Right.
They put them in the pipeline, and then it goes from there. So depending on where it is. But I think that's different than most firms, because we may have 10 or 12 people touch a claim.
I mean, how many people do you know, how many guys and salesmen in this industry, whether they're contractors or PAs, are signing bundles of claims? Like, you know, him and I we team up on a lot of these and do a lot of public speaking, things like that. You know, the meetings we take are with the real estate firm, because you have hundreds of properties,
right,
and you have a solution that you need taken care of.
Right.
Boris signed 76 in a day in Atlanta.
Yeah. Wow.
76 claims in one day, and it's one meeting. And again, that goes. You know, I'm doing 7-figure signatures. You're doing innovative sales strategies 2.0 after, you know, the momentum and feedback we got last year.
Awesome.
But that's exactly what it's about, you know, and how to think and take different approaches to go walk in there and take one meeting or approach one client and get 76 claims, rather than spending the same energy to go sign one claim, and then you got to start all over with another one, and another one, and another one.
I have a question for you. So we're talking about innovative sales strategies and 7-figure signatures.
Yep.
So why do contractors not just dump money in social?
Why do contractors not dump money into social? A few factors. You know, as a company starts their business, it's knocking on doors, it's getting jobs, it's making payroll, it's, you know, maybe getting a production manager or something like that, and just scaling like that, not really investing. It's one of those businesses you don't really need a lot of startup capital to invest in. So I think that gets ingrained in the fact that you can just go buy leads off of, you know, Home Advisor or telemarketing or door knocking, whatever it is, and that kind of habit just gets ingrained. And the second factor is, as we talked about, a lot of companies have had bad experiences with marketing companies and all that. So they're hesitant to actually invest in the ability to generate their own customers. So that's a big factor. There's one guy do you guys know Jonathan Sherwood, or have you seen his content?
So I think Jim and I are supposed to talk with him while he's here.
Okay, cool. So I did some content down in Dallas with Jonathan last month, and so what he did is he hired an almost full-time videographer for himself. Now, he's not the owner. He's a president of a roofing company, not the owner, but he hired a videographer for himself, and he's been putting out content, and his his mindset is it's a 2-year project. So he's not expecting to make money off of that for 2 years. But you see Jonathan on commercial roofs, he's branding himself as the fluid applied restoration guy, and he's getting other roofing companies in DFW and throughout the country calling him, be like, oh, you're the fluid applied restoration guy. I have a job. I have this thing. Can you look at it? And so he's just putting himself out there. He's not asking for anything. He's branding himself. That's a perfect example of someone who's got that longer term mindset, and it's paying off already, although he didn't really expect it to pay off already.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And when you take that realistic mind approach, and the amount of money he's going to spend over a year or two, he's going to make tenfold.
Oh yeah.
After that,
absolutely.
because he becomes that guy. He's the brand for this is what you need. And there's no better market than DFW. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
and just being in Texas or in the Midwest when it comes to Four Seasons and the hail and tornadoes and all.
And they can put roofs on all year there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little bit enamored with Dallas right now. I think on April 17th, which is my birthday, Kyle should get me a nice little office situation in DFW. Just go between there and back.
So what is next for Premier Claims? Obviously, you guys are growing really fast. Like, what's next? Without giving away too many secrets.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can't hire people fast enough, and it's just because we continue to grow and take on such a high clientele. You know, when we talk about signing 75 properties or whatever in one day,
right?
You know, you obviously have to have a manpower to do that, but you know, it's also because we don't just hire anybody. We're extremely picky about who we bring on board. It's an extremely tough and rigorous vetting process, multiple interviews.
I mean, you're going to go through 6 interviews.
Wow.
You're not only going to go through your standard sit-down across the desk questionnaire, but there's also some kind of psychological, social pieces, because you need to know, how are you going to fit in with our people?
Absolutely.
You know, we have a family atmosphere, and you know, we work together, but we may go have happy hour together, and you know, we're here in Las Vegas.
Right.
I basically have a room in Tristan's house.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
he literally has some clothes in the closet in my guest bedroom.
That's awesome.
Because when him or his wife and the girls come into town, you know, they got stuff there just in case. Sometimes you never know. You're weren't planning on coming through there,
right?
But now you are because you need to take a meeting or whatnot. So that's true. And so you need to know: can I live with this guy literally? Can I travel with him? Can you share a room with him? Can you sit on next to them on a plane? Not only to know that, but then are you going to get your stuff done? Because we're definitely hey friends, but hold yourself accountable thing.
Yep.
I can't do my job well if you're not doing yours well, and so that's why we go and we really pick off really high intellect people, attorneys, paralegals, people who have been in the industry or have some knowledge there.
Really great estimators, material experts, engineers. If you're good at writing estimates and you want to work for Premier Claims, call me.
Right.
I want a squad of 20 estimate writers. If you think you're good at field inspections, let's find out. Because we pay our people very well.
Awesome.
And my goal right now, we're at like 50-ish. I want to be to 100 people. Kyle wants to do $1 billion in a couple of years. I'm into 2. I want to see 2 billion, right? So like, I think it was in Wolf of Wall Street. They said millions are cute, billions are where it's at.
Nice.
So I want 2.
I think that's going to be the title of the episode here.
There you go.
Millions are cute, billions are where it's at.
Billions are cute. It's true, though. I mean, it's true. I mean, and it really just comes down to having the wherewithal, the knowledge, and the people.
Right.
Kyle is brilliant, man, and the way he runs the company is perfect. He reinvests in the right places. He invests in the departments that need continuing to beef up the staff and things like that, and then, puts it away and saves it where you need to. So you have to have
stay always with staff 15 to 30% ahead, particularly like going in our world. I mean, sure, you too, going into conferences like this.
I'm scared for next week. It's going to be nonstop.
They're literally, I would wager to say we pick up between 300 and 1,000 claims over 6 months through this, which is more than most companies do in a 2 or 3 year span.
Right.
I mean, if you're a roofing company and you do 500 or 600 roofs a year, you're an $8 to $10 million company on a residential side.
Yeah.
On residential roofers, which is a pretty darn big company.
Yeah.
There's other, if you're doing that type of numbers, 5 million to 10 million, there's other companies that want to come buy you.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
so we might do that, in 3 to 6 months.
We might buy a company.
Well,
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
We're not. Yeah. We're not buying any roofing companies.
Not roofing companies.
Sometimes I get tempted because the money these guys make is pretty nice.
Yeah. But, we obviously do extremely well in the States.
Yeah.
We're also licensed in Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Canada. So
awesome.
Growing some of that international business is definitely something that's on the forefront. I think we're probably pioneers in that compared to any other public adjusting firm
that's cool.
In the country. And then
there's a couple guys that hit some stuff.
We were this close to open it up in Australia. And there's it's a public adjusting market there as well. So
kinda. I mean, the laws aren't awesome. I mean, it's kinda right. But nobody else has done it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nobody else has done it.
Yeah. A few years behind the times.
Public assessors there, but there's a market for it, and they get some crazy weather out there.
Yeah,
they get
totally.
Softball size hail.
Totally.
And hail, wind, fire, water. Those are really our bread and butters.
Gotcha.
So you've seen our social.
Yep.
How can we be better?
How can you guys be better? Your videos, I mean, honestly, like your videos can be a little more compelling. I think it's good that you're getting them out there consistently, but it takes, and us too. I mean, we're always working on, with video, the goal is for the first second to get someone to watch the second, and then the third second. So it's like we don't have attention spans, so you got to keep it interesting. Mm-hmm. Eric just walked by D&M Roofing. We had a video up on one of his Facebook campaigns. It was like 45 seconds, drone flyover, pretty boring, but that's all we had to go with. Mm-hmm. Over the winter, they don't really have much going on as far as builds right now.
Omaha's rough in the
winter. So, and Eric's in the Cayman Islands, and we're trying to figure things out. So what we did is we took that video, we chopped it down to 22 seconds, we added some music, we added some text and things like that to make it more dynamic and more interesting. So you just got to grab people's attention. So I think with some of your content, you have that great foundation, but like breaking that up to making it more dynamic and compelling.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, it's like, you're constantly dropping landmines out there. So you're going to hit home runs, and something's going to go viral on some, and then other ones are going to be good quality videos, but it may not be as compelling. So it's not like you can't expect every single piece you put out is going to be a grand slam.
You can't engineer virality.
You got to hit singles, you hit doubles,
Yep.
things get shared, and then you hit home runs and grand slams, and those are the ones that really take it to the next level and make it all worth it. But you never know which one it's going to be. So.
Yeah, and to bring it into my world for a second, organic is okay, especially if you're consistent. It can be pretty good, but you really got to be backing some of your content with advertising dollars.
Yep,
we were talking about Jonathan Sherwood before. The podcast that we shot down in Dallas, I took a clip of it. We put it on Facebook as an ad, and in 3 weeks, it got 24,000 views for only a few $100. So, like, that's the power of backing your content with advertising dollars.
And he's in a market where you can get 24,000 on that too.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that was nationwide, and he's he's branding himself nationwide, and we are too, kind of co-branding. So that's the power of it. So a lot of people listening to this are like, I've tried content, it sucks, doesn't work. That's part of it. You've got to pay to actually get that reach that you want, that engagement that you want.
Saying I've tried content and it doesn't work, that's like,
it works.
That's like being like, listen, I've got horses and I've ridden in a vehicle before, and that car needed gas and I didn't have time for it. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
I love that. I love that.
It's 2019.
Yeah,
content's the name of the game.
If someone else is doing it, then it's possible. It's just so if you're doing it and it's not working, then it's you, right? So that's the name of the game.
Absolutely right. We have a lot of content we've shot but never posted.
Oh, same here.
So,
yeah.
You have to just continue to do it, trust in the process, and over time, it's no question going to pay off.
Yeah, like anything else in business, the long-term strategy is going to win over tactics any day of the week, right?
And here's my other question: is I don't get why people with marketing are so scared to lose. Right? Like, okay.
Yeah,
I lost. That you're in business to figure out what works for you and what doesn't, not just simply say, well, I tried that once, right? Like, how many times?
I'm going to steal that. That's perfect. Because guys, they're like, if I need like an ROI month one. Well, no, it's like you've never done marketing before. It's going to be a testing period, right?
If you want ROI in marketing, you're a crazy person because there's no tangible in the short run.
Right.
One of the things that I'm going to talk about in my breakout session Friday is like one of our clients in Ohio isn't as concerned about getting a number of leads, which is obviously it helps. He loves going to the grocery store, and he's got twin daughters, and he loves going to the grocery store and someone recognizes his shirt or his truck or something like that. Like, oh yeah, it's a small town in Ohio, so
name recognition.
He loves that, and that has turned into tangible business for him, but it's unquantifiable from a marketing lead gen perspective. So those are the things that are really possible.
You asked him, why don't contractors invest in marketing and digital marketing, right? And I think it's because they think, okay, when I think about expenses, I have to buy roofing supplies. I mean, you have to do some things, and what are those expenses in payroll and insurance and things like that? So when it comes down to, wow, now I've paid all those things and I have this chunk of money, marketing is a luxury. And it's an additional expense that's coming out of their pocket, the owner's pocket, the company's pocket, that they didn't probably formerly budget for. And that's just the nature of contracting. It's let's cover our expenses and how much is left over. And that's probably, I think, a big reason why the reinvestment in marketing takes contractors time and a leap of faith and patience to really see the ROI on it.
Marketing and commercial, making that leap, same thing.
The biggest mistake I think we ever made I'll give this like a little inside nugget. I think the biggest mistake we ever made was I think we were a year and a half too late in the video. I think we were a year and a half too late.
Maybe, but what's up, Doug? Maybe.
I'll be there.
But no one's doing video remotely well in your industry that I know of. So now's the time. Same with us. Like we should be doing 10 times more than we're doing. So
I think Gary Vaynerchuk said there's when somebody asked him how much content is enough content, and he said more.
Yeah.
I mean,
or what platforms?
My
All
question
of
is
them.
this though: like we had Gary Vee here last year.
Yeah.
Okay, and Kyle and I saw him a couple times last year. You saw him once.
He was on IMG as well. Yeah.
I wonder how many people bought into that, what he said, because the thing is like he like dropped info, and if you didn't get anything out of it, it should have been. He's heavy Facebook, and I get that, and I'm fine with that. It's what I like Instagram, I like Facebook equally. I love YouTube. That being said, like. I wonder how many of the guys that saw that actually implemented. Because you can come into a conference like this, and you're like, that's a great idea, that's a great idea, that's a great idea. It's a trigger pull. Does it matter? I'm going to pull the trigger on that.
Yep.
I'm going to pull the trigger on that.
It's doing it, and I saw it because that's what I spoke at a breakout session after Gary, and it was just great momentum. I rode that
Oh,
wave.
we got the boss here.
Hey!
Look at the boss showing up.
Coming through.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers to Kyle
Cheers,
Merring,
guys.
our CEO. Man. Told you he was running this business, right?
Yeah,
Right?
seriously.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers. Thanks for having us on, Joe.
Yeah, sure. So I was following up Gary. I was like, great, he just primed the pump. I'm going to talk about this, get some people involved in this. And so I was following people, and you saw some people doing it for, a month or two, not strategically at all, just like hit and record on their, on their phone in the car, in the pickup truck. But most people didn't stick with it, and that's because there's no infrastructure there, right? There's no one like running the strategy. There's no one actually doing it, posting it, doing video. Like you guys know, you have a video team that you hire.
I have it set in my phone.
What's
I literally
that?
have it set in my phone when to drop things on Graham and tag Facebook, and I drop things on Graham more than Facebook, and then I pop into individual target market Facebook groups on the other times.
Right.
And I put that in because if you don't, you get busy. You're giving away money.
And you guys know from hiring a video company, like it's a whole freaking crew. And like same with us, like we have in-house, we have freelancers. It's a whole crew that comes together to actually make something that's worth watching. So
yeah, and I think on a personal level, like marketing can be something that you do, in the meantime, in between time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I sit down to take a leak, and I hop on Facebook, and you jump into a networking group, and you start commenting on pictures and stuff, just to take a few extra minutes, to just put your name out there, to be involved in the conversation, so people continue to see it repetitiously.
If I was a contractor and I wanted to get into commercial real estate stuff, I would literally follow every commercial real estate Facebook group and commercial real estate Instagram page in my area. And trust me, they're there, and LinkedIn. If you're a contractor and you don't have LinkedIn, why don't you stop and set yourself apart?
Totally.
Why?
I think there's
you don't have 20 minutes to make on LinkedIn, and you check it 3 times a week. Sounds horrible.
We started doing that for our clients because they just wouldn't do it, so we do it. I lost my train of thought there.
Well, I mean, when you stay involved, I mean, you see how often someone likes our Facebook page, or we see them, we're in a networking group, and they comment and we comment, and then you message them and just say, hey, I see you guys work in this market, so do we. It's extremely, or you get a friend request, wow, or you friend request someone, and in a really quick 2-3 sentence thing, just to get the conversation going.
Totally,
it's not that hard.
I direct message every single person that adds me on Facebook.
I used to, and then I got out of it, but it's a great habit to be in.
I won't add them as a friend if I can't direct message them.
Cool.
And when I do direct message them, I look what their industry is, I look what town they're in, and
you'll make a relevant comment about that town or that industry.
It's a couple hours a week, and I'm into that. And people are like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for it either.
Right, you make time for it. It happens. It has to happen.
There's a lot of times where I'm in bed watching Netflix with my wife, and I'm Facebook messaging roofers, all day long.
And one of the things, what I was going to say before is, and we'll wrap this up in a minute, is that people think that B2B, like commercial, like property owners and whatnot, are not on social media. I mean, they're people just like you and I. Like, they're on social media. It's just a matter of...
They make money off social media because other people see the properties.
Right, totally. So that's the world we live in. And that's why we're all sitting here. We all came together on the SVG Facebook group. We're all Win the Storm for the second year in a row. And that's marketing. That's why we're sitting here.
Well, thanks for having us, man. I mean, this was
thank you.
This was
Yeah,
awesome.
Hopefully this comes together with some good sound and
I
whatnot.
think so. Yeah.
We could talk all day.
I know, right?
Anytime you want.
I
know, we should, yeah.
Me and him are down.
Beers,
Yeah.
you know.
We'll
We'll run until the camera dies.
Yeah.
But awesome, dude.
Thank you.
I got a meeting in like 8 minutes, so that's why I was getting in trouble.